You ever had one of those days where somebody asks you how you're doing and you genuinely have no idea? Not in that polite, this person's just asking because that's part of the social contract. How you doing? And you're supposed to reply, I'm fine. But in the kind of way where they're interested and you genuinely don't know how to explain what you're feeling. For a lot of people with BPD, that's borderline personality disorder, autism, ADHD, or trauma, emotions don't always show up as clear, nameable experiences. Sometimes they're kind of foggy, sometimes they blur together, sometimes they feel like static or a blank screen or just body sensations. If that sounds familiar, I really hope this video will help. And if you already struggle to name what you feel, I've got a free resource that might help. And I've tagged it in the pinned comment and it's in the description. And I hope you'll download it. Doesn't cost anything, no pressure. Today, let's talk about what might be happening when you can't name what you're feeling, and more importantly, what you can do to start making sense of that inner world of emotions. Not by fixing yourself, but by finding your own way of relating to your feelings. That confusing, hard to describe experience where you know something's happening inside, but you can't quite put it into words is often part of something called alexithymia, which literally means no words for emotions. It's not a disorder, doesn't mean you're cold, broken, shallow. And it often shows up for folks when they're neurodivergent, when their brains are wired for autism or ADHD. And these folks often process emotions in kind of a different language than neurotypical folks expect. This can also happen to folks who are impacted by trauma when emotions were overwhelming or unsafe. Your system may have blurred them out as protection. And this tends to happen in folks with borderline personality disorder or complex PTSD or trauma in general. Now, there are two main ways that alexithymia can show up. There's trait alexithymia, and this is a lifelong difference. This is kind of the way it's always been for someone, and that's often linked to neurodivergence. The other one is state alexithymia, and that's situational. It's often triggered by stress, trauma, or overwhelm. Both are real and both are valid. And they can feel like, and again, I'm going to generalize a lot here. It's very hard to put something very complex into a brief little YouTube video. So I hope you'll bear with me and have some grace with me that this might not exactly describe your experience, but I'm hoping something here might resonate if this is something you're concerned about. You might know something's there, but you can't describe it. Your emotions feel kind of buried, mute, or tangled up, or like nothing is happening at all, even though underneath your body is still carrying those feelings and you're kind of exhausted at the end of the day with all of it. Step one, let's start with the body. Emotions usually begin as a sensation, not words. I mean, they're called feelings because we feel them with our bodies. So before you think, I'm anxious, your stomach may clench. Before you know, I'm sad, your chest might feel heavy. So take a moment, breathe, and ask, what's the loudest sensation in my body right now? It might be tension, it might be pressure, it might even feel like kind of a blankness. And that's okay because blankness is data too. Noticing is what counts. This is called interoception. And interoception is noticing and interpreting signals from inside your body. For people with autism, ADHD, trauma, or chronic emotional dysregulation, interoception can be fuzzy, it can be quiet, it can be scrambled. That's really important to notice because that's where we can start practicing. The next step is about learning to recognize emotions more by being exposed to them. Most of us don't just magically know what we're feeling, especially if you've lived in survival mode or if you're one of those people who just no matter what's happening, you have to put one step in front of the other and just keep going. Or even if your emotions don't match what society taught you to expect or what others expect from you. So instead of trying to just know what your emotions are, kind of look for a menu, pull up an emotion word list, scroll through, try things on. Is it irritation? Is it embarrassment? Maybe it's feeling rejected. This isn't cheating, it's using tools. And remember that free resource I told you about. It has lists of emotions, the top 10 basic emotions. It talks about body cues and prompts to get you started. Step three, which is untangling the story from the feeling. Boy, emotions often get all tangled up in thoughts. And if you've been in therapy, your therapist might ask you sometimes, is that a thought or is that a feeling? Because it's very hard to differentiate sometimes, especially in trauma impacted or neurodivergent brains. The line between thought and feeling can get blurred pretty quickly. So, for example, you might have a thought, I'm a failure. And the feeling underneath might be shame or overwhelm or fear or anxiety, might be disappointment, which is related to sadness. So when you catch yourself in a spiral, pause and ask, is this a thought? Or is there a feeling underneath that that's trying to be seen? It can help you differentiate whether that thought is reality or it's really a feeling that might need to be expressed, but might not be reality. And sometimes what feels like nothing is actually lots of emotions jammed together, canceling each other out. Now, step four, emotions don't always speak English. Sometimes they speak in really strange, undiscovered languages. Not all feelings show up as neat words. For many people, especially if you're neurodivergent or you're multilingual or you're trauma wired. Emotions might arrive as colors or images, sounds, or textures before they come words. I've had the experience of actually remembering a place rather than noticing immediately that I'm feeling an emotion because it's a place where I've felt that emotion before. You might feel a buzzing or a static in your chest. You might feel like the color gray, or you might feel like moving underwater, or like you want to burst out of your skin. These are signs of emotional awareness, even if they're not shaped like words yet. Feelings don't have to make sense. They just want to be noticed so that they can be processed. You're not late to the skill set. Lots of folks struggle with this. For some folks, it's about reconnecting with emotions that were blurred out by trauma. And for others, it's about discovering a new way of translating emotions that never fit kind of the neurotypical mode. And let's not leave out that for lots and lots of folks, it's both. Either way, you can learn, not all at once, not perfectly, just one little piece at a time. I'd love to hear that if you do get that free resource, whether it's helpful or not, what you found helpful and unhelpful, so I can revise it to make it helpful for more people. I am so glad you joined me here today. I love it when people watch these videos, and I'd love it if you like or subscribe to help it be that more people can see these videos. Look over there, there might be another video right there that's helpful to you. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I will really look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye for now.